Welcome back to Predicting the NFL with Mickey G. It is now week 18 of the NFL season. That's right. This is the last week of the NFL regular season. And first we got to talk about how we did in week 17. So last week we went 10-6. So a fifth straight week now of double-digit correct predictions. However, every single one of these special games we did get incorrect. 0-1 game of the week, upset, crap fest, Jersey team lost, and I picked them to win, so that was incorrect. Now on the season, we are 166-90, 8-9 in games of the week, 5-12 in upsets, 6-11 in crap fests. Teams are 9-8 when I wear the jersey, and my picks in jersey games are 10-7. 166 wins is the most that we have ever had after 17 weeks. 2017, we had 164. So just beat that out by 2 correct predictions. 166 correct predictions is more than the full 2018 season including playoffs, full 2019 season including playoffs, full 2020 season including playoffs. The 2017 season is the only one we haven't caught yet in total correct predictions, and we only need 4 more to get that. I think we're going to be able to do that this week, and so this is without question our best season ever. Now, to be fair, we have a full extra week of 16 games to get to that number, but we also still have a chance to remain below 100 incorrect predictions. So that's really what we're going for, and if we can do that with the extra 16 games, that's going to be impressive. We need to not have 10 more incorrect predictions the rest of the season, so that's going to be tough. So if we get like 6 again, like we've been getting the last couple weeks, then that means we can only get 4 incorrect for the playoffs to match 100. And so we have 9 more to give. So hopefully if we lock in this week, maybe get 2 or 3, maybe if I know ball, we'll go 16-0. Overall for week 17, historically, we are 58-38, 2-3 in games of the week, 1-4 in upsets, 1-4 in crapfest, 1-2. Teams 1-2 and I wear the jersey, and I am 0-2 in my jersey picks. That one I'm assuming is one of the weeks that I wore a Buckeyes jersey. So that's why that's there. Why those 2 numbers don't match up. We are getting close to being 500 in our jersey picks all time. We're 16-19 now. Before the season, I believe we were like way below. We were 6-12. And now we're only 3 games back from 500, so we're doing pretty solid there. Since we got the upset wrong this week, that means that the Giants are no longer defeated in jersey games this year. They're now 1-4 instead of being 0-5. But let's talk about how the games went last week. We had 2 Wednesday football games on Christmas that were stinky. The Chiefs beat the Steelers, and the Ravens beat the Texans. Both were gross, and I hope we never see Wednesday football again. The Chargers smacked down the Patriots on Saturday, and the Bengals squeaked past the Broncos on Saturday to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Jags beat the Titans in a meaningless crapfest game. The Bills beat the Jets by a lot of points. It was not close. The Dolphins beat the Browns to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Colts had one of the most disappointing games of all time, allowing 45 points to the Giants and not keeping their playoff hopes alive. That dashed them against the rocks. They failed there. The Raiders smacked the Saints. They look real gross, real bad. Saints are disgusting looking. Raiders got themselves a meaningless victory and hurt their draft stock. And we had one of the worst Thursday night games of all time between the Seahawks and the Bears. Seahawks, however, were able to beat the Bears, and now the Bears are on a how many game losing streak is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 game losing streak, and it could be another one. Their last victory came against the Jaguars back in week 6. They were 4-2, and they have lost every game since, and let's see if they lose the next one. The Rams beat the Cardinals, and due to some help from other games, they ended up winning their division. The Buccaneers beat the Panthers and retook the lead in their division. The Eagles beat the Cowboys, even though they had Kenny Pickett starting, and then he got hurt, and another guy came in, and the Cowboys just could not do anything. The Vikings squeaked past the Packers after a late game rush from the Packers. Not enough, though, and the Vikings won that one. The Commanders able to hold off the Falcons in a close one as well. I believe that might have even been an overtime victory for them. And finally, we had the Lions beat the 49ers on Monday night, which was actually a pretty exciting game. A 6-point win for them, a 40-34 score. A lot of points going on there. Both offenses, both coaches going deep in their bag to pull out some exciting stuff. But that's how last week went. It's time to get into our final week of predictions. The first game on our list, the first of our 2 Saturday games, is the Browns at the Ravens, and this game should not be particularly close. Ravens are playing for the division here, and they're playing a bad Browns team that is disgusting looking. So I think that they're going to easily be able to win this football game. They're also starting Bailey Zappi, which doesn't give me a lot of faith. However, the spread's like 19.5 or something, which I think is probably a lot. I feel like if they get up by enough points, they're just going to rest their guys. So I think there's a chance the Browns can keep it within that number. So if you're a betting man, I would maybe go look at the spread there. Next is the Bengals at the Steelers. This is our upset of the week. Who's he picking? I'm picking against Vegas. That's right. Vegas once again has the Bengals as the expected winner here. I think the Steelers still have a chance at the division. Well, I know they still have a chance at the division. I think they are going to go out and win this football game. They want to win the division, and they want to beat the Bengals, keep them out of the playoffs. And the best way to do that is to just have them lose. If they lose, then nothing anyone else does matters. They're out. Next is the Texans at the Titans. The Texans are playing their starters. Not that it totally matters because they're stinky, but also not that it totally matters because the Titans are bad. The Titans are actually favored in this game I just looked at, but that would be a lame upset pick because that's an insane thing to do. So that's why I didn't do that. But Texans are winning there, but once again, look at the betting lines for this because that should be some free money there. Next is the Jags at the Colts. This is another crap fest for the Jags. We've had a lot of them in the last couple of weeks, and I was looking through this, and there's not a ton of games that don't have a playoff team in them. Another one is the Niners Cardinals, but that's not really a crap fest. Like, they're both mid teams. Neither of them are bad. And after the Colts last week, they deserve to be called bad. So that's why they're in this with the Jags. And I'm actually going to go with the Jags in this one. They've been playing decent the last couple weeks. Doug's potential last game, he might want to go out there and get himself a victory to make him feel better. Things like that. A lot of people saying Ben might actually end up at Jacksonville. Ben Johnson would love to see that. But I am going with the Jags here over the Colts. Next is the Bills at the Patriots. Interesting thing with this game, might be thinking, are the Bills resting people? They're resting a couple people, but they're also starting Josh Allen. He has the longest consecutive start streak among active QBs, and he wants to keep that streak alive. So he's going to at least start the game. I don't know how long he's going to play. Probably not super long. He's going to start. They're also just playing the Patriots. Even I think Mitch Trubisky can still win a game against them, even if Allen only plays a drive or two or whatever. So Bills, I still think, can get this victory. Next is the Chargers at the Raiders. It sounds like the guys are starting for them. They're trying to change their playoff seeding. It's between the 5th and the 6th seed for them. If the Steelers lose, then they can take that spot with a victory. And they're going to want to do that because if you have the 5th seed, you get to play the Texans first round instead of whoever the winner of, who would be the Ravens if they got the 6th seed. So they definitely want to win and hopefully for them, the Steelers lose, because playing the Texans first round instead of the Ravens is definitely something you want to do. So Chargers going to go out there and they're going to beat the Raiders. Next is the Chiefs at the Broncos. Chiefs are resting pretty much everyone. It's basically a practice squad roster out there. However, Carson Wentz is the quarterback. But the Broncos are playing for the playoffs. They win this game and they're in. They hold their own destiny. And I think they're going to go out there and they're going to do that. Even with the Chiefs, maybe they'll do some Chiefs magic. I don't think it matters. I don't think they want to win this game. It doesn't mean anything for them to win this football game. They already have a loss. They're not playing for an undefeated season. Like, it means actually nothing for them. So I don't think they're going to win, besides maybe to just kick the Broncos out of the playoffs. That'd be the only reason to win it. But the Broncos, I think, are going to try a little harder than that. So I would not expect the Chiefs to win. Broncos should be able to get this one. Next is the Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins are still alive in the playoff race. If the Broncos lose and the Bengals lose... Actually, no, if the Broncos lose, then I think the Dolphins are just in. Well, if they win. If the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, then I think the Dolphins are in the playoffs. So they actually have a shot here. The Jets, however, are really, really bad. But here's the thing. Tua is not playing. Huntley is starting for the Dolphins, and he did not impress when he played before. I think I'm actually going to go with the Jets in this one. They're at home. Maybe that'll help. The last game, Rodgers is likely to play in the New York Jets uniform. Him and Adams are both expected to not stay with the team after this season, so they might go out there and just play some buddy ball like crazy and maybe put up some nutty numbers. So Jets are hitting this one. Moving into our NFC games, the first one on our list is the Bears at the Packers. It's our jersey game of the week. There's a couple teams that I hadn't worn jerseys of so far yet this year. The Bears were one of them, and a lot of the other teams that I did have jerseys for that I haven't worn a jersey for in a game for them are in the playoffs. So I might try to save those for that. And it's not going to matter. The Packers are playing everybody. They want to win this. It's the difference for them between the 6th and the 7th seed. So they're going out there and they're going to try to win this game. And they're going to try to keep that active streak for Matt LaFleur against the Bears. He's undefeated against them so far in his career. And so I think he's going to try to continue to do that, and I think he will. Next is the Commanders at the Cowboys. Cowboys are talking about giving Trey Lance playing time on Sunday. So that's an automatic L for them. Washington playing for seeding, like I mentioned earlier. They're going to go out there and try to win football games. They want to stay fresh is what they were saying in interviews. So Washington should be able to get this one. Next is the Saints at the Buccaneers. Saints with an absolutely gross, disgusting loss to the Raiders last week, and the Buccaneers with the win are in the playoffs. So they're definitely going to go out there and try to win this football game. They want it, and also with a win in the Rams loss, they get the 3 seed, which, I mean, is not a total change between that and 4th. That whole playoffs is good teams, so it doesn't totally matter, but it's important that they win, because if the Falcons win and they lose, then the Falcons are in the playoffs. So Buccaneers definitely trying to win this one, and I think they will. Next is the Panthers at the Falcons. Falcons, I think, are also going to go out there and win the football game. Once again, they're playing for the division title. If the Buccaneers lose and they win, they are in. So they're definitely going to try to do that. And Panthers don't have a ton to play for except spoiling, which they did a little bit earlier. And maybe we'll do it again, but I think the Falcons can go out there and do it. They've played solidly against Washington, and I think a 3rd week in a row for Penix is going to be good. He might be on fire at this point. He's going to get a little more comfortable. Maybe Kyle Pitts won't drop passes this time into picks. Maybe we'll catch another touchdown like he did last week. So Falcons getting this one. And next we have the Giants at the Eagles. I was considering calling this one the upset of the week, even though the Eagles are resting literally everyone, including Saquon, who they are not giving the attempt at the record for. They're still favored to win. That's how bad the Giants are. But after last week, maybe Drew Lock is going to go out there and make some plays. It seems they want to try to win football games, considering last week, and I think they actually might do it again in a divisional game where they just hate each other's guts. So, Giants actually going out there, and I'm picking a victory. Next is the Seahawks at the Rams. This is a meaningless game. The Rams aren't even playing any of their guys. Stafford, Puka, Kupp all sitting this week. Seahawks playing for bragging rights and I guess to hurt the Rams' seeding. If they were to win this game, then they would have claimed the 3rd seed, but it seems McGay does not care about that, and so if they lose, Buccaneers win, Buccaneers do get that. So I think I'm going with the Seahawks. It looks like they actually want to win this football game, and so maybe they will. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is getting the start in Los Angeles, so that could be a fun thing to watch. But I don't think it will matter with, the best receivers on the team out of the game. And next we have the Niners at the Cardinals. One of the few games with 0 postseason teams. Niners are resting a bunch of players. They've had injury bug all year long, and they don't want anything crazy happening to end the season to stop a player from being able to play the next season. So they're actually resting a ton of people, and the Cardinals aren't, from my understanding. So I think they're going to go out there and actually win this. Also, it's in Arizona, a little bit of home field advantage. And finally, our game of the week to decide the division. It is the Vikings at the Lions. This is going to be an exciting matchup. The Lions going with their blackout unis. The Vikings going with purple on top with white and both the jersey and pants. So a little of a black versus white little thing going on there. Here's the thing. Lions, a lot of injuries. It's playing for the 1st seed in the playoffs. There's a lot going on here. And I'm actually going with the Vikings. I think the injuries are hurting the Lions a lot. They got to play against another injured team, the Niners, the previous week. I think that really showed how many points they can allow, and this Vikings defense has been amazing all season long, and I think that's what's going to win them this game. I think both offenses can score even with the injuries to the Detroit Lions team, but I think there's a greater chance that the Vikings defense stops the Lions than the Lions defense stops the Vikings. That's what I'm going with the Vikings. Last pick of the regular season of 2024. I guess we're not technically 2025. But yeah, that's it. And then looking forward to the playoffs next week. I love NFL playoff football. And I hope we do so well this week that we can stay below that 100 incorrect predictions number and just have the greatest prediction season known to man. But anyways, that's all for this week. Excited for next week, and I will hopefully see you then. So thanks for stopping by. I guess adios or something. Bye.